TSPN is excited to announce Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage. Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage.
You know what?
What little?
Good morning. And welcome to Just Between Us. I'm sorry, I didn't
Surprise!
hear my I was busy talking about the lovely ladies that were here this morning, Miss Amador, all the ladies that were in her court. Anyway, I want to wish Carla and Jim Gaetano a very happy and blessed anniversary. They gave us this wonderful kid in Austin, so...
Yay, Austin! And congratulations.
As you can see, we're very festive today because we are celebrating Martha's 31st year in business
yes.
at Jose's.
Jose's.
So we want to say congratulations to her.
Thank you.
And I'm Susie from Volcano.
Roberta from Pioneer.
Helen from Jackson.
And Martha from my own in Jackson.
Very good. So let's pick our first few topics, lady.
So give her a couple of topics over there.
Just
give her. No, just give her.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
No, just let her take a couple of. Let her take some topics.
Let's take a couple.
Okay.
First topic is our changing world.
Number one.
Do you believe that our society is changing for the better, or are we going in the wrong direction?
Oh, I love that
Okay,
one.
I was going to say something else, but in the next topic.
Going to the toilet.
I love that one.
Getting control of your emotions, Martha.
Oh, good one.
Oh,
Number
boy, I
6,
knew it.
your favorite. What emotion do you find the hardest to discuss with your spouse or friend?
Oh.
Okie dokie.
You mean my
How
friend?
about rage?
So you know what? This is not hard for us to discuss. We're going to take a very short break, and we're going to be right back.
Amador County Fair is ready to roll.
Yes, and we're getting ready to discuss our first two topics. Roberta, please.
Our changing world. Do you believe that our society is changing for the better, or is it going the other direction?
I get to talk first because I'm the oldest and I've been around the longest.
Woo!
And I
Go,
can
Helen.
tell you
Okay,
that
we'll
I
let
was
you.
a member of the great middle class, and it was great. We could get, if we had ambition, if we had any brains at all, we could move ahead. And now the middle class is like this, and those rich people at the top are wiping out our good education system, all of it. There's mine.
That's your thoughts.
Now, Helen, but don't you feel, I mean, I'm going to play the devil's advocate here. Don't you feel, though, because, I mean, you know, the rich right now they're opening new businesses, they're hiring and whatever. We really are going the other way. I'm not saying that that's not true, but what I'm saying is that the rich have always been around, the poor have always been around, and the middle class has gotten smaller,
But
and that's where we're falling into,
and they're going into that poverty, more in the poverty.
And don't forget that the rich now, they don't have to have 150 people to turn out 150 cars because they got robots doing it. And so forth and so forth and so on.
But it's called progress. I mean,
Is it though?
What are we going to do? What can we do to change? I think one of the things that we need to talk about is getting new industries to come back to the United States of America and to make it appealing and get new jobs. That's what we're talking about.
And guess what gets in the way?
Yes, money.
Money.
Yes.
Well, and regulation. I think the other thing that gets in the way is regulation. There's in so many areas to start a business, to keep things going. Everything is so regulated that it's very expensive to start
That's
a business.
why they're taking off and going
therefore
elsewhere.
it takes. You know, it's much harder for us, an individual, to just get started and say, I'm going to start a business because of all the regulations and the requirements that it takes to start.
And
so
and
it starts
California,
to tend it toward people who
California is one
already
of the
have some
toughest,
money.
too.
44 years ago
Absolutely.
when I came to this country, 1970, and we started working at a restaurant, you know, and I dream of opening a business from the day I came to the United States. The day that I became an American citizen, the immigration guy asked me, so what are you going to do with your citizenship now? I said, I'm going to be an asset to this country. And the guy goes, oh, yeah, and how are you going to do that? I said, I'm going to open my own business.
Good for you.
Right
You know,
on.
Yay,
kinda
Martha,
looked at me
exactly.
Like, this is a spicy little girl.
Yeah. Well,
And you were right.
But you know what? If I knew then what I know now, I would be very afraid to open a business with, you're right, with all the regulations, everything is like, you know, people that open a business, they don't know, a lot of the people, they don't know all the regulations until they open the restaurant, and then they start finding out, you know, with the American Disability Act, with the liquor license, everything that you want to do, you can. Back then, you used to be able to save money. You used to work hard and save money. You work hard now, and you have to work harder, you know, just to survive.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
you know, I don't understand it. I've been able to survive because I'm one of those people
Survivors.
that just, you know, keep on
Survivor.
going.
You're
And
one
I
tough
just
cookie.
Keep going, keep going, keep going. Don't look back. Don't look back. Just keep
and
looking
don't,
ahead.
and you know what?
You know,
no
and-
matter what block is thrown in your way, you're going to knock it down, and we're
Yeah,
going to do
oh,
that. I think
most of
that,
the times.
like what Helen said, you know, there are obstacles out there today, but the obstacles are not being addressed by either side of the aisle or at the top. It's that, no, everything is okay, everything is fine. No, doggone it, it's not
It's not.
fine.
No, I
We
always
are in
tell
dire
everybody-
straits as a country, and
Susie,
we're not
I
going
always tell
forward.
everybody
And
that
to
the best
whose
thing that we can do-
advantage? To whose advantage is it
All
that
of
they
them.
can ship their business overseas?
But you
Bigger
know,
the corporation
ladies,
and the
the
cheaper
thing-
the
But if-
labor.
But if they would reduce the corporate taxes here and
But do you
change
know
the
how to
tax
fix
structure
that?
here,
Did you know how to
they
fix
would
that?
be more incentive to
You
do
need
that.
to write to your
And then they-
legislators. You need to talk, you know, send letters to the governor.
I agree.
mean, do whatever it is that you have to do because that our word really counts.
And
I
Martha,
go and I testify, and I go and I write
Yes,
letters, and
yes,
I,
all
you
of
know,
us.
emails. I
and
mean,
quit
you name
fighting
it.
each other.
It's not going to
Exactly.
stop.
No.
You and I discussed this a few weeks
Yeah,
ago.
we-
This is the worst that you and I have seen things.
Yeah,
The
it is.
worst.
Yeah, it
I
is.
am
We've got to
so
stop fighting each
fed
other
up with that.
and look at what the real problem is.
Absolutely.
And help each other.
And it starts at the state level on
It's
up.
actually, it starts
Absolutely.
local. I really
Even
believe
locally,
it
I
there's
starts
some.
really
locally.
believe
Yeah.
it starts local.
Yeah.
We
Worse and
have to-
worse as you go
we
up.
are the ones that make it happen.
Right.
But if we don't speak up, it's
Well, it
never
goes
going to
back,
happen.
if you've heard about, like, Stephen Covey, it's called the circle of influence. You start with your circle of
Yes.
influence.
Right.
It doesn't start out there in the big
Excellent.
No,
world.
it's
but
gonna
it
start
starts
with
right here
upsets
with
me?
who you
You
have
know what
influence
upsets
on.
me? People complain and complain and complain, but they don't do anything about it.
You're absolutely
You know,
right.
and that's why
That's
I
the problem.
spread my
Everybody
word.
is
You know,
sitting
we
back.
have to write letters to whoever you have
Right.
to write letters.
You
And,
probably know
Time
the
to go.
protest.
Oh,
Sorry.
Oh,
That's
that
okay.
Was, oh,
I'm
my
sorry.
God, that was a good...
we got to get
Okay.
control of our emotions. That's what it says.
Especially politically.
What emotion do you find the hardest to discuss with your spouse or friends?
Oh, somebody do it, please. 'cause
Resentment.
I'll start crying.
Oh,
I find, for me, it's resentment. If I'm resenting something, it can be a small thing, but I kind of resent it, you know.
Yeah.
Then I think, oh, it's so silly for me to be resentful. Shut up. But pretty soon I have to discuss it, or it just sits there.
Doesn't that help, though, when you
It
discuss
does,
it?
and
It
he's
just,
always-
you got to get it out of
He's
your
always
system.
wonderful about
Uh-huh.
See,
it
that's
becomes
good.
the elephant in the room.
it. It does.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I find
Yeah.
out? That if I have something bad, I write it down. And then if my feelings, I write them down, and then I give them to the person that I'm having a problem with. And
So they
that,
can think about it.
And then that way, they don't have to hear my attitude when I'm talking, because I have an attitude. When I'm upset, I know I have an
Now,
attitude.
this is Martha writing it. Run now. Here's your note.
But if you have it written, then you get back to just
Yes,
facts.
yes.
Or
I get
more
exactly
towards
to
the
how I
facts.
feel, and I explain to somebody who, you know, if it's one of my employees, I just write it down. This is what I need you to do. This is how I need you to do it. Or if it's one of, you know.
Sometimes what they say, the pen is mightier than the sword. Sometimes writing things down makes
You
a
cool
bigger
down, too.
a
Well,
bigger
yeah,
impact.
you can, Yeah, it depends. I think writing helps you get your emotions out first, at least for me. I'll speak
Why'd
for
you say
myself.
it
Calm
depends,
down.
and you looked at me when you said depends? Roberta.
Methinks thou resemble that remark is, if you, do you have to claim that one?
Name it, claim it, and it's yours.
You were saying.
She's so innocent.
I don't know. Now I lost my train of thought.
No,
Sorry.
That's how she
Write it
works.
down, get your
Write it down.
emotions out,
Yeah.
and then talk about it.
Yes.
That's the way I
But
feel.
now, what
on
emotion
the-
do you find hard for you to express?
For me,
or,
it's
or to
when
talk
I
about?
feel like I'm going to hurt somebody else's feelings. And it might be my own resentment, or it might be that I feel
Responsible for another
something
person's feelings.
something happened, but I feel like what I'm going to say to them is going to hurt their feelings. I have a hard time doing it.
Ah.
So then I have to build myself up and justify that that there's a good reason to do it. And if I don't, then it turns into resentment, and that's not good.
Nobody
So,
wants that.
yeah.
I learned to say no to a lot of things. But when somebody holds you and say, please don't leave me now, like, I don't know if you guys heard that this guy that used to work for me a few years back passed away overnight. He had 3 little boys and a little woman pregnant, which 4 days later, she had the baby.
And who was there with her?
And she
You.
had nobody to hold her hand. And she asked me to help her. How do you say no?
You can't
I said, give me a minute, let me think. Okay, How do you say
Wasn't
no
even a
to somebody
minute.
like that?
Yeah.
You just have to,
Yeah.
the emotions. And then after that, I've been so emotional because the community has been so wonderful. I mean, Bart and Mara from Mel's, have been helping me a lot, too.
The
Goes
Catholic
back to
Church.
what
Yeah,
you were
Catholic
saying,
Church,
though, about the other
everybody.
issue.
Yeah,
Everything
it's-
is local. It starts with the influence you have here. Look at the influence you've had on this
Yeah.
community, Martha.
It's so
And-
amazing. It surprises me.
But people
you know?
have jumped in, and I
Yeah.
think that's such a role model for what can happen at a bigger level. But it starts here, and I think
starts
that's
here.
why we have a good community, because people do get involved here.
It amazes me how people trust me. They know, it's like they know me. They know who I really am because I speak up. What I say, that's what I mean.
You scare the hell
You
out
know.
of people. That's what you do.
I think there you got it. You got it
They're
right.
afraid of you. That's what it is. Oh, that's a straight razor.
I am
choke
the
woman right
sweetest
there.
little Mexican girl.
Yeah, sweet, sweet, sweet.
No, but you're right. It's hard. It's hard to keep your when you get emotional and stuff, and
It's
somebody comes
just-
to you like that. It's so hard to say
is.
no.
It is.
And you never say no. And see, that's
I
the
do.
most
I do
wonderful
say
thing.
no.
It's yours.
Mine is probably the hardest emotion for me. I'll tell you, to keep intact, that I don't like to lose control of, is anger. Because I'm like my father. I'm very easygoing. I'm very easy balanced, the whole thing. But when I get angry, look out. See, and I don't like that.
All of us
It's
have,
that Italian in you.
Yes, and usually
I
Italians
think
right away.
every person in the world can lose control.
Yeah.
That's why my grandpa always said, in life, you have to keep control, because the one that loses control is the one
Is
that
the one
loses.
that loses. That's why I've learned
Yeah.
to keep it under control. We have to pick 2 new
Grab 2
topics.
more.
Okay,
One's
well,
going to be
Just
a
hand
free
them
for
to
all.
her. She'll pick them.
Okay, 2 of them. One free for all,
Cool.
and one about being organized.
Okay, number 4.
Do you feel making a list helps get you organized?
If I don't make a list.
If I don't make a list,
I'm
I
in
get
trouble.
lost. I'm wandering around like, why am I here and what am I doing here?
I know.
And then we have a free-for-all. Please stay with us. We're going to be back in just a moment.
Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage. And now back to Just Between Us.
Roll first.
No. Oh, welcome back. We are just so excited today and talking about so many things. I'm so sorry. Roberta, we are going to be talking about being
Getting
organized.
yes. Do you feel that making a list helps get you organized? It's one of the only things that
ways
keeps
to
me
go.
organized.
I hate to say it, but this is what I do. I have a piece of paper, a little book, and a pen right next to my bed, because I wake up in the middle of the night and I think, oh, I better not forget to do this tomorrow. And I have to write it down. If I don't make a list, it doesn't get done.
I do that too, except because I don't want to wake my husband in the bed. I scribble it.
Yeah.
And then in the morning I go,
what did I do?
Whoa,
What does
what
this
is
mean?
that? 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm writing
Yeah.
in the dark.
And every morning I have a routine of things that I do. You know, and it's just, it becomes a routine, you know, and I think that's because that's why you become successful at what you do, because you are. I'm not the most organized person in the world, because my desk can speak for itself. But
you know where
But if you ask
Yeah.
me where a paper is, I know exactly where it is.
You know which
Weird?
pile it's
Yes,
in.
yes.
Or in
Well,
the scatter.
I don't have piles, but I do have papers that, you know, I have to follow in order how they get paid and, you know, where they go and everything, you know, my files, everything is in order. Even IRS had, you know, trouble believing that I had everything in order. Like,
But you did. Nobody
I
else
did.
did.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
you're a writer, so you have to be organized.
Writers have to be organized, and what Sarah and other writers need to know today is it used to be that with the big publishing companies, they did all the organization of your marketing, of your speaking to people, who and when and all that kind of thing. And they don't do that anymore. You got to do it yourself. So you have got to be organized, or it just doesn't happen. If it doesn't happen, guess
But a
what
plus for you being a writer now is the computer. It's not the typewriter in the paper.
Absolutely.
And boy, what a
does that
blessing.
save time.
Computer is every writer's best friend.
Right, and Roberta, you've written a book. So
I
you
have,
know.
but I can't say that I'm organized. I wouldn't call myself organized. I think
Really?
yeah.
See, now you look like you would be
I'm
organized.
not.
Well, the creative phase, maybe you're still in the creative phase. In the creative phase, I have a pretty, idea of where I'm going. But part of creativity, in my opinion, for most writers, maybe not all, is that, we've got this little idea, but then our characters come to life and they're not who we thought they were going to be. And, who's this over here? Oh, that's a great character.
She's talking about my life.
Yeah, yeah, like all of our lives, really.
Yeah.
It's not here's the bad guys and here's the good guys. And
Different.
so there's a creative phase when you don't, in my opinion, you don't want to be all step at a time and all organized.
Yeah, and I've only written, mine was nonfiction, it wasn't a fiction.
Oh, so that gives you a structure.
Yeah, but I think I use lists definitely to keep, I know I do.
And the name of
I
your
keep
book
one in
was-
my car.
Hi.
Oh, my name of my book,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
bet, I love it. Hot, Sweaty, and Happy.
And I just...
But
That's
you
a
have to-
seller.
The subtitle
Yeah.
is Lessons Learned Along the Trail.
Yes.
Oh,
Exactly.
that's perfect because you draw them in
People get the
and
wrong
then
idea.
let them know they got to hike.
There you go.
I like the wrong
Perfect.
idea.
I want to see that. I want to see
You're
that.
like I am.
Great
Like I'll
title.
have a Costco list, and I'll have a
Oh,
local,
absolutely.
a Walmart list, a
I
Lowe's,
keep a book in the car.
wherever I go.
I
Yes.
scribble while I'm running. It's like,
I
oh,
keep
this.
a little book in my purse, and it goes everywhere with
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Well, when you get, sometimes I have like CRS, can't remember stuff, and
There's
Helen
a name
laughs.
for that
She-
now.
Helen laughs because
Wow.
Helen was going, oh God, no, she's not going to say that. But it's true.
I love it. Can't remember stuff.
When you can't remember stuff, sometimes. You've got to make a list.
You got it.
All the time.
I mean,
The thing
but
with
you
my
know-
list, though, it gets longer and longer.
Yeah.
So pretty soon I have to say number one's here,
Yeah.
number two's here,
But
number
another
three's here.
thing that really it's I have to become creative sometimes, because in the restaurant business you get so much
So many-
stuff.
It's coming all
I mean,
at once.
so much, all the time.
I give you so much
and
credit.
it's like, and
I
you
don't know
just
how you
have
do
to,
it.
and you just have to stay focused.
The most
Did I
Plus-
say focus or did I say it wrong?
No,
No,
priority.
No,
You have to know what
your
your
I said it
priorities
right.
are.
Yeah. Don't let that
Otherwise,
accent.
we would have started laughing.
Don't let that accent fool you. She knows what she's saying there. No, but you're right. You have to. it's being focused and knowing, like, if I think of something, it's like I got to write it down right then and there.
Absolutely.
Or
Or
it's totally gone now. And I think that when you watch young people and they're organized when they're younger, it takes them through their life. My mother was the type, my socks, everything had to be in a row in the drawer. She was very, very stringent like that. So I kind of let my kids have a little bit more reign, only in their room. I said, as long as it's up to health code standards,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm fine with that. But I noticed that that they know, they're like me. They're more focused on they have to be more organized. Anyway, we're going to move on. And I thought it would be a lot of fun, and the two ladies brought this up, that it would be a lot of fun because, Martha, you're celebrating your 31st year in business. Yes. We want to hear a little bit about how everything transpired and how you stay focused and be successful after 31 years.
Yeah, tell us your journey.
My journey. Oh, my God. Where do I start?
In
At the
Mexico.
beginning.
44 years ago, after Jose and I got married, we decided to come to the United States, and Jose was working for a restaurant down in San Diego. Then they opened one in Monterey, and they asked us if we would go over there and help Monterey, California. And I got there, and I thought I was in heaven.
Good.
Back then, it was just beautiful. Anyway, a few years later, the partners broke their partnership, and they moved to Placerville. So they used to tell everybody they were my parents, and so we moved with them, and we helped them open tortilla flats in Placerville, and then
I've been there many times when
didn't
I lived over
realize
there.
yeah,
See, that's
and then they
interesting.
opened another one in Roseville with another partner, and we worked there too. And we have worked in many places, and then they decided to sell their place, so we decided to find our own business. And somebody told me that there was a little place called Jackson Mining Company in Jackson to come and see it.
Mining Company.
And I talked to the lady, and she didn't clinch. She just, okay, sold. Just like that. I was like, oh, I should have offered her less. But, it's when things are supposed to happen,
They happen.
they happen.
They do.
And it comes easy. If it's too hard to
if
do
they're
it,
fighting you,
if you're fighting it, don't fight it. For me, everything just fell into place. Everything fell into place.
It was ready.
And I felt confident of what I was doing. Jose was confident of what he was doing. I learned the whole business. In order for me to open a business, I had to make sure that I knew how to do what the cook knew how to do, that I knew how to clean everything. I knew how to do the book work, and I had already had the experience, so I felt very comfortable doing it, And one of my friends asked me, Skip Harris asked me one day after I opened, he says, Martha, how long do you think you're going to stay here? And I regret the words that I said. I said, I think till the day I die. I'm starting to believe it now. 31 years later, it's been a very emotional story that I've been through so much in my lifetime. I raised all my kids here.
9 children you
9
raised.
children, 3 on my own, and then we adopted 6 kids, that really needed help. And plus all the kids that come with their kids,
Right.
with their friends.
Right.
It's been an immersing journey for me, because now I see the little kids that used to put in high chairs now coming in with their own kids, and I go like, I'm not that old, am I? Yes, you are.
Well, like Ham said, you started in the business when you were 8 years old. So
I wish.
That's right.
Yeah, I wish. But anyway, it's been a wonderful journey. I could not do it without my employees.
Oh, you got a great staff.
I have the best employees
You
in
do.
the world.
You do.
I believe it. When I'm there, I get the sense of being
Your
at home.
Yeah,
Yes.
family. It
I
just
want,
when
when
I'm
you walk
at
in,
Jose.
I want people to feel that they at home. Feel free
That's
to,
how I feel there.
be comfortable, ask for whatever you want. If we can do it, if we can change it, if we can, whatever it is, we try the hardest. And that's the customer service that we need,
Right.
That's what...
That's what you've got. They're
great people.
They make me feel
Thank you very much.
very
I
taken care
can't
of.
take all the credit. I could not do it on my own.
You couldn't do it on your own, and yet you are
Just a
you
leader.
hold the expectations.
yes.
You hold the standards.
Yes.
And it's because of who you are that they follow your lead.
Right. And it's
And
so
your
wonderful.
example.
It's so wonderful to see your staff working. When she's not there, they're still working.
Yeah.
When
Oh,
they
yeah.
when they see her drive up, they, Madre mia de Dios, here she is.
Clean, clean, clean. Act like you're cleaning.
They get her coffee ready and they know. I mean,
No, I'm serious.
they're so sweet.
I know, I'm serious. In the mornings when I come in, there's my dishwasher. I mean, he already has my coffee ready for me. It's like, yes! I don't tell them to do it. They just treat me with respect.
And you know that one sign of
It's
being
all about
successful,
two-way street.
Yeah.
right, is that when the boss is gone, it still runs like she's there, and
Yeah.
that is a pat on the back
Oh,
to
yes,
you.
definitely.
And not that,
And to them.
yeah.
to
Plus,
them,
they fear
yeah.
the hell out
Yeah.
of her, but still, that goes without. We got to go on, girls.
Okay.
Last
Cool.
two
You need
topics.
to pull more?
One's a free for
I
all.
wonder which
How
one's
come
on
there's
there.
only
Anyway,
two left?
Saturday-
Those are the two.
Saturday, July 19th at 5 o'clock, we're having a lot of entertainment. We have just show up and you'll
That
see.
would be tomorrow.
It'll be
So I'm
tomorrow.
gonna be there.
Yes.
What time again?
5 o'clock,
right. Helen, you're
That-
going?
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
you.
Roberta?
You bet.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
going.
Be ready because
Get ready.
everybody's going to be there.
Margaritas are ready for you, ladies.
Betcha. My neighbors are going.
I'm
They said
making
they would-
sangria, homemade sangria.
Oh,
I'm making
boy.
horchata,
What fun.
lemonade for the kids. I mean,
Sounds
I-
good.
let's do it.
Perfect. Topic is friendship. So
Oh.
that's
Number 3.
Number 3? 3.
Number 3.
Okay. If you were hurt
Almost.
by a so-called friend, would you confront them and talk it out or let it go and see what happens?
Okay, and then we have another free-for-all. We'll come up, these two
And a
ladies will come
free-for-all.
up with something.
Absolutely.
So we're going to take a very, very short break and come on back, and we'll see what happens.
What a
Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage. And now back to Just Between Us.
Welcome back to Just Between Us. I'm Susie from Volcano.
I'm Roberta from Pioneer.
I'm Helen from Jackson.
And I'm Martha from my own in Jackson.
You got it, kid. So our first one is going to be
Friendship.
friendship.
Aw, this is a good
Oh.
good little show about friendship. If you were hurt by a so-called friend, would you confront them and talk it out or let it go and see what happens?
Oh, I have
That's
to
hard.
talk about
That's
it.
hard. I know you would talk about it.
Oh, I'm really bad. I just go, oh God, because if I talk about it, I'm going to hurt your feelings, So I wait until I'm calm, but 3 or 4 months have to go by for me to.
Whoa.
Yes.
By that time, she
Yes.
can't remember
Yeah.
what she did.
No, I don't forget.
Oh, no, no.
No, I don't
We're
forget.
Latina. We never forget.
I just-
Oh.
it just- well, I'm not an angry kind of person, but I resent when
Goes back
somebody
to-
hurts my feelings,
Right.
And it's like I have to calm down and just let me, at my own time, I will call you back,
I have a girlfriend that with whom I've traveled quite a bit, and recently we went to Australia. And
Oh, yeah, I
typically
saw
what
her.
happens is it seems like at least once during one of our trips when we travel together, something
Something's going to
happens.
happen, of course.
And
yeah.
sure enough, there was a little, and it was something stupid.
Stupid,
That's
yeah.
the most
Simple.
annoying thing.
Yes.
Just, but I got all ticked off, and I was just feeling.
Yeah.
And usually I just zip it and just
Yeah.
try to let it go. And this time I thought, I can't. It's just going to sit here and annoy me to
Yeah.
pieces and ruin my
I
trip.
think
Uh-huh.
if it's something that she does consistently, you really have to
And that's what it was. And
do it.
she doesn't even realize she's doing
That's
it.
right. You have
But
to.
I
You
get
pretty much have
yeah.
to do it.
my feelings.
Yeah, and it's,
So did.
I think the key to the whole thing is that how do you approach it?
Yes.
What
Really.
state of mind are you
Yes.
in? Do you open it up jokingly like,
So how
oh,
do you do
here
it?
you go again,
Here you
or
do
one
it.
of those.
Which can be
no,
easy.
I'm the type, no, I don't like the confrontation thing, and for me, there's only been like 2 or 3 people that have really, you know, in the last, say, 6-7 years, that have actually done that to me, and I have walked away from both friendships because I look at it this way. If you have to make that decision, it wasn't the strongest friendship that you thought. And for me, I just assume walk away and not. If you want to discuss it, pick up the phone, open up the dialogue, and I'll be happy to converse about it. But I'm not gonna tell you what you want to hear. I'll tell you the truth. But if I see a continuing pattern,
offensive pattern.
Yeah, it gets to the point where, you know what, I really don't want your friendship.
Well, this is a friend, and it's,
especially if she doesn't know that she's walking over that line.
Yeah, well, I think
my friend and I, we've been friends since 3rd grade. And so we're close.
You know,
I mean, we know each other upside down, backwards, right? And she's very... She wants to know everything. She wants everything.
Control.
She does, but she also, she knows she's smart, and so she also thinks that she wants everything. She has to understand everything and be her way. And you know, I'm sort of more easygoing, so it's like
so you're like me.
It's like I got some. Basically, it was instructions on how to get to a restaurant, and I said, "Oh, it's just down here and a block down," and it turned out to be 3 blocks down. Well, did he tell you it was 1 block down? And it was all about this little direction.
Did you make it to the restaurant?
Yes. But
then that's fine.
It was just like,
without strangling
why are we going down this road? It's so stupid, right? So it's those kinds of things. For me,
it's always questioning.
Yes, it was questioning like my integrity in it. And so finally
it was about control.
But
it
was important. The relationship is more important than
that
argument. Case. But it was important that I bring it up because otherwise,
and she must do it to other people too.
But I don't think she realizes she does it. It's all about her trying to understand, or that's what she thinks in her head.
Yeah. Some people feel that they have to take control, even if it was down 3 blocks or 1 block. What difference does that make? You got there.
Yeah.
And see, now that's the way I look at it.
I do too. Gee, it's like, who cares? Or if we walk 3 blocks, I enjoy the walk. It's like, so
absolutely.
But there was something else going on, and if I just let it go totally, then I felt there was something going on.
She needs to hear it, because it seems to me, because you strike me as a person that you're going to be gentle about it. You're going to say, do you realize?
No, I got ticked off, and I ended up walking away and going. I'm going to the bathroom. I got to get back.
Then she especially needs to hear
it. But then she came back and she apologized. She says, I didn't
She knows she's doing it.
See?
That's great. Cool. She knows she's doing it.
Either that or she was afraid of you at the moment.
And you can say to her if she knows she's doing
last
it.
Year. October, November, December, January, February.
Well, we have to move on, girl.
Wow.
And
that one was all about me. Sorry about that.
That's okay. No, it was not. And you came up with a good free-for-all, and you want to talk about the situation that happened the other day in the bank robbery down in the Stockton area. And for those of you who weren't able to catch the news for the last few days, there was an armed robbery, and it was at Bank of the West, and they had taken hostages, and one of the hostages was killed, and 2 out of the 3 of the robbers were killed. And the situation is this. Now, being the head of the security for a bank, one of the main functions that I had was to train new employees on robbery procedures. So there are a lot of things that you have to make sure people are aware of when they work behind the teller line or, out in the platform or whatever. I remember conducting a meeting one time with some other bankers and stuff, and they said, well, we've got nothing to worry about. We have the bulletproof glass. All of our tellers are behind the bulletproof glass. And I said, well, that's fine, but what about the people that are waiting in line, and what about your manager or your operations officer or anybody out in the platform? And it just was like, huh? So you see, and as a matter of fact, one bank had the bulletproof glass put in, and they had that much on the top, for ventilation. Robert jumped up on the counter, vaulted over, and he was behind the line, and he goes, now what? And they said, here's the money. For me, there is not enough money in a bank for you to take your life in jeopardy. And anybody that is in banking will tell you that. Now, on the other hand, when they had a guard there who, I understand that they beat the guard. He got out, but they beat him. He was able to get out and call 911 and to alert the police officers. The fact is that when I trained, we had special devices, and you can trigger a silent alarm and just conduct your business, and they wouldn't know. But I always trained them. There were 3 or 4 things that we used to do. Don't do a blasted thing. If there is a weapon involved and they threaten your life, don't do it.
Give them the money.
Just give them the money. It's only money. You're a human being. And for 18 years that I did that, I never lost a teller to that. And I've had tellers be robbed numerous times, the same teller. And when they would come in for training, the first thing I would ask is I would introduce myself and say, okay, how many of you have been in a robbery? How many of you have been in a branch when somebody else has been robbed? And I would turn to the ones that I haven't been in a robbery, and I said, guess what? This may be your turn. So, you have to be heads up all the time. And the sad thing is that they took these hostages. Now you get in a hot pursuit.
Why do you think Why do you think they were not prepared? Why do you think?
I don't. But see, Helen, the thing is I don't know if they were prepared or not. Now, I had a teller one time that was pregnant, and the manager did the best thing, and she was always a nervous Nellie. These guys came in. They ripped off a limousine and came in and robbed the bank with a shotgun and held a shotgun to her head. And the manager said, you got it. Whatever you want, you got it. Just don't hurt her. And you have to do what they tell you to do. Now, one of them or 2 of them had AK-47s, okay?
Yeah.
So in that situation, I don't care if you don't. We've had people come in that said they had bombs and there was nothing in there. You have to use your discretion.
Well, my understanding is that they took 3 hostages, 2 of whom were bank employees,
right,
who eventually got out.
Right. They turned them loose.
But they took a third person who was just a customer in the bank.
Right, and she was killed.
And she ended up getting killed.
She was a wife, mother. Yeah. She was the human shield. Now, the question is, so I'm not going to comment on what should have happened, what should have not happened. When you get in a gunfire of that caliber, and there was a lot of gunfire, there was a high-speed hot pursuit, as they call it.
I have never seen so many cars, police cars, in a video. There was a person on Facebook that put a video that was just sitting there watching all the police go by on the pursuit.
Right.
It was just
my only question was, did they know there was a hostage in that car?
So it was a police bullet that killed her.
No, they don't know that.
They don't know.
Or we don't.
They don't know.
Nobody knows yet. No one knows what transacted. The police were doing the best that they could.
I always wonder what goes on in people's minds that they are willing to do something like this.
Sometimes they're desperate. Do we know anything about who these 3 men were?
They're gang members.
They're not desperate.
They were certified gang members. The thing is that when a lot of people come in and perform robberies, it's because they're very comfortable with that surrounding. Most of your tellers are women. They know that their wives and mothers or grandmothers. Most of the people in banking are very, they're there to serve. So what threat do they really show, to you? A bank robber that's done a lot and that's pretty slick, he'll tell you, don't give me your die pack, don't do this, don't do that. Now, I took one into custody one time. Obviously, he wanted to be taken into custody. And the security guard,
they want to go to jail because they get medical.
No, he told me. He told me. You know what he said to me?
Don't even start me with that.
He was a nice-looking man. He told me. I brought him up to my office. I sat him down and I said, "Okay, look, they're on their way. But let me ask you a question or two. Number one, you wanted to get caught, right?" He goes, "Yes." And I said, "It's because you can't function." He goes, "No, I've been in prison, in and out of prison my whole life." He goes, "I got to go back."
Yeah.
I said, "Well, you know what? I just gave you your ticket to ride. We got to take a short break, and we'll be right back."
Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage. curry. And now back to Just Between Us.
Welcome back to Just Between Us, and we're going to introduce you to our hot topic today. We're going to be talking about the situation of all of the Honduras and Venezuela and El Salvador, all of the immigrants coming over here and from Central America that are trying to escape, obviously, the drug cartels. Now, my neighbor's, her brother-in-law's family is from Honduras. And believe me, when he gets off the plane, before he reaches the house, the door goes up, he runs in, they shut the door. That's how bad it has gotten down there. So I totally understand that the United States has this this open arm policy, and I totally get that, but we have to do something. Now, they knew that this influx of kids were coming over since February. They've known that. But we've got to work with Mexico. We have to work with Canada. And we have got to set down. We have regulations. We have rules. We have stipulations and laws to come into this country. I don't know where the answer lies. I don't know. We don't want a child to go hungry. We don't want them there. Some of them are very, very ill. Some of them are deathly ill.
What does the Statue of Liberty says?
The Statue of Liberty says, "Send me your huddled masses yearning to be free." That's what it says. We were all, my great-great-grandparents were Scotch-Irish and Danish, and they were immigrants. Yours, way back there somewhere, were immigrants. Yours, and then
I don't have to go back that far.
Now, we have immigration laws. I have no objection to keeping unobjectionable people out. But what got to me this last week is in Murrieta, California, not Rancho Murrieta.
Right.
This busload of children, mainly children with their moms, no men on it or anything except the driver, they were already cleared to come through, and this gang of private citizens is yelling and screaming, throwing mud at the bus, "Get them out of here, get them out of here, immigrants, USA, ours,
well,
USA, ours."
Yes, it is distasteful. It's just as distasteful as those same type of people standing on the side of the road when they're burying a soldier that's a United States citizen. So we have nastiness in this country.
We sure do.
I think what it is,
we have
Susie,
nastiness everywhere.
I think what it is some of us are not educated and don't understand, because there's certain things in the law that I don't understand, and then when somebody explains it to me, I go, "Oh, that's why." You know, if the United States wanted not to let anybody come through the United States borders, trust me, they could stop them. They could.
They have
you know,
Well,
but they don't. It's like they need all these people because they come to work. They don't ask for big regulations. They don't ask for unions. They don't ask for, and they get paid minimum wage, and they go.
And they're being cheated out of. They're being cheated out of Social Security,
That's right.
and a lot of things like that.
The thing is, that's not the legal right thing to do. But why do they let them come through this, you know, across the border? They say that the coyotes are the ones that bring them.
Yeah.
If I told you some of the things that I know, because I lived there in Tijuana for many years, there have been proven that some of the immigration people just let them through because they make a lot of money.
You better believe
money rules.
There we go, Helen.
But, you know, but the thing is that if the United States really wanted to stop, you know, people coming through,
we have to do
there's
something.
ways,
It's
you
the
know.
federal government.
It's the
that needs
federal
to-
government
We
that
need
needs to
we need
get
to,
involved.
like a lot of these kids coming over here, some of them are deathly ill. Some of them, matter of fact, a lot of the people that are with them, the guards that are staying with them in the places, the bases that they're sending them to, they're not going home to their families at night. They're staying in hotels because they're afraid. They've got one that came down with the swine flu. These children need to be immunized
And
cared for and whatever. I
Absolutely.
get that totally, but we have got to start paying attention to our laws. We've got to do things legally.
That
do things to
busload of people, children mainly, evidently had been legally
Well,
allowed in.
Dean,
What I'm upset
the
about is
president-
how the residents of that community treated these
You
people.
know, I
But
wonder.
who pays for it?
I
I mean, I know that sounds heartless, but
Yes,
who?
we do. We do. But
Yeah.
you know, I heard the president say he was going to take care of it himself, and I thought, there's been
He's the one.
thousands of people that tried to do it and they haven't done
Legally.
it. And you going to do it? In how much time does he have left? Not much, does he?
yeah.
Well,
So-
the other thing, it's clear that he isn't putting effort towards putting, to securing the border. So if
Exactly.
That's
really,
our
like
first
you
step.
said, if you
And do
really,
things
if you
legally.
really wanted to
Really
stop
want to
it, there would
secure
be
the border.
something. But
If
they're
We
not
got to take a
putting it
short
there.
break. We'll
Then-
come back and we'll wrap it up for you.
Boy, there's been a
Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage.
Welcome back. If you want to get a hold of us, we're at 223-4877, or you can fax us at 223-4866, or you can email us at bookme@tspntv.com. Again, I want to wish Mr. and Mrs. G a very happy anniversary.
Yeah.
I also want to remind everybody, Corey's playing tonight at the Rancheria. Please go see him. Kid is
he's
dynamite.
something else,
Kid is
isn't he?
dynamite. I'm going to drive down the Bay Area,
Yeah.
get my grandkids, and I'm taking them tonight.
Oh,
so I'm going to do
cool.
that.
And then tomorrow, don't forget.
Tomorrow-
Mañana.
Mañana at 5 o'clock from 5 to 9. Please stop by Jose's
Yes.
and enjoy the festivities. We want to wish Martha, we want to thank you for 31 years of service.
31 years more.
31
Yeah.
years
No,
more.
I told her I'm not going to, no. 5 years and I want her to put her feet up. Let somebody else run it. But I want to do
already
that.
put my feet up, don't
There,
worry.
there you go. But we want to
won't go there.
Resting.
wish you congratulations.
Roberta.
And Helen and Sarah, keep writing. We can't wait. Missy, you already have your book out there,
Whew,
but you're going to write a new one.
someday.
So write it on travel. You're going to do
What
great.
a show
We also
today.
want to wish
What a show.
Austin a very happy birthday. He just turned
Happy
18.
birthday.
Oh, happy birthday,
Happy
Austin.
birthday, Austin.
He asked me for a
Yeah.
margarita. I said, not yet.
Not yet. No margaritas.
Shoot.
No Martha-ritas.
No,
Martha-ritas.
no. But-
Not at all.
I want to send a lot of besitos to my grandkids, all
Yes.
of them.
And we're going to see him tomorrow night, huh?
Yes, yes. Oh,
Oh, boy.
they better be
How
there.
many grandkids?
A few.
You lost count.
9 kids plus... But Letitia's coming up. Her
Yeah,
daughter's
she's
coming
gonna
up
be
from L.A.
singing. Everybody, bye.
Bye.
Hasta luego.
Adios.